Welcome back to some more Tsumihoroboshi. So, where we last left off, Rena was trying to hide in her hideout. The first one, she was able to succeed, but the second one was where she was caught by Rika, but apparently this is... let's just say Rika tried to give her the syringe, and Rena was like, nope, it ain't happening. And then Rika was like, oh, well, you, you gonna meet your end someday, which is a kind of a wild conversation. So right now, well, you can't really see the past text log, but right now it is Keiichi and Rena in the conversation. Hey, wait just a minute. You must be kidding, right, Rena? The parasite theory was interesting, but aliens? Come on, that's just nonsense. But Rena believes this theory so seriously, and she feels sorry for me because I can't accept it. They've been controlling the community by living as parasites in human bodies, but sometimes someone with sharp intuition comes along and tries to reveal the truth, but they get rid of them in order to maintain their control of the community. They sometimes kidnap those people with sharp intuition and put a piece of metal in their bodies to gain control of them. When that doesn't work, they replace those people with their copies. They made a copy of Mia-san. They made a copy of me too. Rika-chan's copy just came by a few minutes ago. Well, see what I mean right then? This is not the right Rika to me. Unless, like, well, who knows? I talked to it. It admitted that it came from space. It told me that the end of the world is coming soon, and it laughed at me, saying I should struggle as much as I want. I'm going to fight. I'm not going to let them domesticate our species. I'll never ever. You're so stupid. I stepped towards Rena and slapped her in the face. I was hoping it would return her to sanity. Wake up! No words. Rena, did you forget? It happened here, just a few days ago. We all took each other's hands here, didn't we? And we promised we'd be a family made of friends forever. Rena played with her wrist. She didn't interrupt, so I continued. If you're seriously saying that aliens are controlling the Earth, I'll believe you, even if everybody in this world didn't. I would. That's because I'm your friend and I'm on your side no matter what. But I want you to listen to me too. I want you to listen to me because I'm your friend. Takano-san made up all the stories in the scrapbooks. It's true. Takano-san was an occult maniac. She enjoyed interpreting the old history of Hinamizawa any way she wanted. She made up ridiculous stories out of it and she read them to people for fun. So the parasite story isn't the only one she made up. There are stories about UFOs, some kind of creatures from the underworld, and many other things. So the one you read in the scrapbooks was just a new story she made up recently. Don't you remember that she liked to make fun of people? She was just making fun of you because you took her story so seriously. If it was just a story she made up, why was she killed? Her autopsy report says she had been dead for 24 hours when she was found, but she was there at the festival. Why? How are you going to explain the cause of Tomitaki-san's death? What about the Sonozaki family? What about the legend of Hinabizawa? What about Yashiro-sama and Rika-chan? Are you saying everything is made up? Are you saying that the whole world is lying to us? Stop making connections between everything. That's a typical symptom of paranoia. Don't think so hard. You're just tired. That's why you need to rest. All I'm going to do is to offer you a place to relax, a bed, and food. If you can't trust my food, you don't have to eat it. Eat whatever you have. Anyway, please just trust me for now. My story makes more sense than yours. I have evidence to prove it. But all you're saying is that I should trust you. Isn't it obvious who is right? Yes, it is obvious. Me. I'm right. How can you be so sure? It's easy. It's because I'm your friend. Friends never betray one another. Friends always help each other. So you have to believe that I'm right even when the world says I'm wrong. Because I'm your friend. No words. I heard a thud. Rena dropped the hatchet. She staggered, holding her head in her hands. She was muttering something, and it looked like she was asking herself questions. He wants me to trust him, but he has no evidence to prove he's right. He's being absurd. Or maybe he is right and I'm wrong. Am I really just misunderstanding everything? It would be wonderful if that was true. I wished I was wrong so many times. I wish the Mio-san scrapbooks are nothing but a bunch of stories, and the parasite doesn't exist. Some coincidences happen to connect together, and I interpreted them in the wrong way. I really wish that was the case. Don't give up, Reina Ryugu. Be cool, Reina Ryugu. This guy has poisoned his words. He's trying to take advantage of my weakness. Everything is too obvious not to believe. It's obvious that the aliens have been trying to invade the Earth, using this village as their base ever since it was called Onikafuchi. Keiichi-kun is a victim who's being controlled by them. He's just a victim. But when he grabbed my wrist really hard on that day, I could tell his intentions were true. I still remember the strength of his grip on my wrist. He tried to save me, his friend. I got lost in this crazy delusional maze many times. I prayed over and over that somebody would help me, and now my prayers are answered, and Keiichi-kun is reaching for my hand again. But don't forget, Reina Ryugu, this guy says he's your friend, but he hasn't told you everything about himself. Don't you remember? Oishi-san told you about it. He told me about what he found out. I couldn't trust my friends, so Oishi checked on everybody, including Keiichi-kun. That's why I know about what he did before he moved here. He looks like he's a good guy on the outside, but he's crazy on the inside. I can't trust him. I shouldn't trust him. So what? I don't care who he was before he moved here. I did many bad things in Ibaraki too. I did many unforgivable things. I hurt my friends really badly, broke the windows at the school, and was suspended. I was a very bad girl. Did he treat me differently because of that? No, he didn't. Reina Ryugu is Reina Ryugu. He'll forgive me because it was Reina Ryugu who did all those bad things in Ibaraki. He won't forgive me. I should know better. Keiichi Maibara believes that I'm a kind and modest girl because he doesn't know Reina. If he found out about Reina, what would he do? He wouldn't do anything. He wouldn't be scared of me. Reina is Reina. Reina is a different girl. The same goes with Keiichi-kun. I don't care who he was before he moved here. We're even. Are you okay, Reina? Don't touch me. Reina knocked my hand aside when I reached for her. You keep saying you're my friend. Oh, great. Well, this'll about to go pretty unfortunate. You keep saying you're my friend. You want me to trust you because of that. You want me to believe that you're right even if the world says you're wrong. Are you out of your mind? That is more delusional than anything else. I don't care what you say. I'm your friend. Everything I say for your sake. Don't doubt me. I know I'm right. Really? Then, can I ask you something? Yes, anything. Friends don't keep secrets from another, right? Of course. I'm not hiding anything from you. You're lying. I'm not. Yes, you are. What's so funny? Keiichi-kun, you think you can keep the secret from me, don't you? I know everything. I know what you did before you moved here. I know. I felt as if my entire body was covered in frosty needles. My body and mind froze all of a sudden. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. How come she knows about that? I asked Oishi-san to check on everybody. Everybody. That's why I know what you did before you came here. Stop it. You got it all wrong. You only targeted little girls. I have to tell Satoko-chan and Rika-chan about it. I can't believe a dangerous person like you was near us the whole time. No, it wasn't like that. It just turned out that way. A series of attacks on school kids. Bravo! It has it has as strong an impact as the series of mysterious deaths of Hinamizawa. No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like what? You shot little kids with a BB gun when they were walking alone on deserted streets. What a horrifying incident. It instilled fear into the whole city for a while. Members of the PTA had to watch the kids at every street corner when they walked between home and school. You shot one of the girls in her eyes, and she was badly injured. Fortunately, the damage wasn't permanent. You had a BB gun, and you only shot little kids. How disgusting. What made you enjoy it so much? You must have really enjoyed it because you continued to do it for a long time. But then you turned yourself into the police, accompanied by your parents in a crisis of conscience. You couldn't even take responsibility for your actions on your own. Juvenile law was kind to you, wasn't it? It prevented your name from being disclosed to the public for the victims. I bet your father spent a lot of money to protect you. He paid a lot of compensation to settle the case out of court, and he had you placed on probation. After the case cooled down, he used the power of money once again to move far away from the city. Everything is solved, right? You're lucky that your father's so rich. Wait a minute. Was all of this even true? That Keiichi just shot a kid in the eye? I mean, unless there's some kind of flashback to where he actually did it, so I don't know, man. If he did, that's it. I guess Keiichi's not the only. I guess, yeah. I don't know, man. No, it wasn't like that. Why didn't you tell us about it? You told me that you did nothing but study at your previous school. Why did you lie like that? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lie. I thought friends didn't keep secrets from one another, right? So that makes you not my friend. Oh, shit. You know, if there was a flashback like that, I wouldn't be surprised if Keiichi wasn't the saint this whole time, you know? The blades of her words hit hard, and they made my eyes bleed. The blood was clear, and it tasted salty. I can't trust you because of what you did in the past. Don't you ever think you can hide it from me? Don't you ever think you can hide it from me? I remember how deeply I regretted it. I couldn't regret enough. I wanted to forget it, but I couldn't. I made a stupid mistake. Why? Why does she have to bring it up right now? I apologized and accepted everything, and I moved here to put it behind me. I wanted to have a fresh start in Hinamizawa. I swore to myself to live a clean life from then on. Everything is ruined now. I'll be a criminal no matter where I go. I was stressed out with my exam studies. I was frustrated. I randomly shot people. I didn't care if it was girls or kids. Why did I do something so stupid? There was no reason. I had no reason to do that. I just wanted to get someone's attention. Wow, that means it's just making me want to say, well, Keiichi is a piece of shit. I didn't have the courage to tell my parents that I didn't want to study. I just wanted somebody to scold me, so I used a childish way to get attention. Wow. What the fuck? I regret what I did. I swear I'll never do something that stupid again. If I do it again, they can send me to the chair. If there was something I could do to be completely forgiven, I'd do it, no matter what it was. But no matter how deeply I regret it, and no matter how long I atone for my sin, I'll never be forgiven. That's why I wanted to sweep the whole thing under the carpet. Sweep it under the rug and have a fresh start. I have nothing to say if somebody tells me that forgetting my sin is an act of cowardice. Sins are sins. You can't just get rid of them. You have to carry them for the rest of your life. I know that's the fate of a sinner. If you don't want to live like that, don't be a sinner. I understand that logic too. But then, how are sinners supposed to live? Anyway, you're not my friend. I'm not going to take any orders from someone who isn't my friend. I need you to leave me alone for a while, okay? I didn't notice until she spoke that I was on my knees, hanging my head. Rena picked up the hatchet she dropped earlier. I wanted her to hit my head with it. Yeah, that's right. If anything's going to be torn apart, I'd rather it be my body. Compared to the pain of my heart being torn to shreds, I'd rather she cut my head off. I believed it. I still believe it. I still believe it right at this moment. I believe that I'm their friend. But in fact, I'm starting to become aware of it. I want to believe I am their friend because I don't want to accept my past. I'm trying to tell myself that, but I feel stupid crying like this. My face is all messy with tears. I was never their friend. I'm a sinner, and I hid my past from them. And I hid it because I was scared. I told her that friends don't hide anything from another, and I hid my past from them. I hid my sin from them. My past has nothing to do with how I live my life here. If I ever attacked a kid in this village just because I was frustrated, I wouldn't mind it if they killed me and cut me into pieces. But I'll never do anything like that again. I just want to live normally. What I did before I moved here has nothing to do with my life now. For instance, Rena moved here too. I wouldn't change the way I see her, even if I found out she did something bad before she moved here. Right? I wouldn't, would I? Even if Rena beat some of her friends, or broke all the windows of her school, I wouldn't care because it happened in Ibaraki. She didn't do that in Hinamizawa. Rena is Rena. She's my best friend. That's why I wouldn't see her differently even if I found out about her past. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'd keep a distance from her if I found out that she really did such things. I'd be scared of her. I wouldn't try to listen to her. Why? It's just a rumor. Why would I be scared of her? She's my best friend. If I was in her situation, would I reject her just like she did? So, Reina's rejection of me was completely natural. Then what am I supposed to do? I was the only one crying. Rena wasn't crying. She looked at me as if she was looking at something dirty. After giving me a nasty look, she disappeared into the darkness. Rena didn't forgive me. There was nothing I could do to atone for my sin, but to keep crying, still down on my knees. And it ends just like that. The friendship is over. Ain't that some shit? Receiving the tips, our reason to move to Hinamizawa. And I got an achievement. Just want to live normally. Let's see here. Let's save here. So that was end of chapter 11. Alright, I'm gonna pause. I need to get some water, and then I'll continue by watching Meetings of Tip, and then I will continue. I will be right back. I have returned. Alright, let's look at the new tip. Our reason to move to Hinamizawa. Well, let's see. I don't remember how many years ago it was. There was this beautiful village surrounded by nature, but the village was going to be submerged in water because of a new dam project, and the villagers protested against it en masse. They held a sightseeing tour so people from other places could enjoy the local beauty. I joined the tour out of simple curiosity. I wanted to take a look at the nature that might sink under the water. But when I got there, the place took my breath away. The air was so clean and clear, and the landscape was beautiful beyond words. Since then, I was hooked on the inspiring nature of the place. I fell in love with the village so much that I was very glad when I heard that the dam project was cancelled. Huh. Interesting, grass plain. I don't know if I've already seen it before from previous chapters, or this is a new thing. That village is where I'm building our new house. When I visited there, I found a beautiful field of wildflowers. I saw two cute girls playing in that field. Both of them were very beautiful with long, straight hair. They were probably neighbors or best friends. I still remember how they looked. One of them had a very beautiful face with a clear-cut profile for her age, and the other had a very pretty, innocent look. I'm sure both of them will grow up into fine, beautiful ladies in the future. Well, that's kind of odd. They were running around in the field like they were dancing. I asked them if the field was their playground. They said they were playing in hopes that newcomers would move to the village. But I said come to the village. Move, whatever. Then I saw a sign saying, "Lot for sale." That was when I began to think that it might be a great place to live. There was nothing here, and things are a bit inconvenient compared to the life in the city. But I sincerely believe this was the best place for us to start a new life together as a family. A lot of things happened back in the city, but but the past is the past. It's best that we move on. We learn from our mistakes, and I hope we can start a new, more ideal life in this village. Keiichi, I hope you'll grow to love it here as much as I do. You do? I'm happy to hear that. I'm also happy that we've been doing a lot better as a family since we moved here. Back in the city, we were far from close. So, I'm truly happy that we're able to start from scratch. Now that I come to think about it, I never had a chance to have a conversation with you like this before. Okay, Keiichi, do you know any two beautiful girls with long, straight hair in your school? I think they're a lot younger than you. Oh, you know two young, beautiful girls, but one has short hair, huh? I don't think they're the ones I saw. You want to know why I asked? Oh, I just wanted to ask them to be models for my portraits. I was thinking about making them wear cute costumes. Basically, I just wanted to see them again for artistic reasons. So if you happen to see them, let your dad know, okay? Promise me, okay? Cough, cough. This is very awkward. And it just ends like that. Jesus Christ. We just move on to chapter 12, I guess. Alright, let's see. Let's see how long it'll take. At lunchtime the next day, everybody in class was talking about Rena's disappearance. We were all worried about her safety, but I kept a safe distance from everybody else. I do wonder where she went. Someone said that she was demoned away. How can they say such things? I can't believe their nerve. Keiichi-san, you look down today. Meep. Satoko and Rika-chan noticed something odd about my attitude. Question mark? I couldn't sleep at all last night because of what Rena told me. Friends don't keep secrets from one another. That sentence bit into my heart, and I couldn't sleep because of the pain. Mion, Satoko, and Rika-chan too. I have something I need to talk to you about. Is it about Rena? No, it's not. It's about me. I decided to tell them about it because they were my friends. But I didn't know what I was expecting to change by doing so. They might despise me. Was there any benefit in telling them? No, there wasn't. I knew that for sure. But I still wanted to tell them about it, just because I thought it'll help heal the pain I was feeling. What is this about, Keiichi-san? Well, it's the truth about myself. I'd appreciate it if you listened to me. No words. It's about what happened to me before I moved here. I was the kind of guy who wasn't good at anything but studying. I learned the tricks of the game called studying at my cram school. I enjoyed the sense of superiority I felt by getting good grades. I kept studying just because I wanted to look down on the other students. When my grades got better, my parents got happier, and my teachers praised me. I felt good. It was fun. It was fun to look down on the students who were good at running, dodgeball, or swimming. That was the only reason I kept studying. Before I knew it, not only was I at the top of my class, I was at the top of my school. So I started to think I was the most important student there. I looked down at the kids who were playing in the schoolyard during lunch break. I enjoyed feeling a sense of superiority to them in my insignificance. The more I studied, the better everybody expected me to do. They started to place high hopes on me. They expected me to go to the best school in Japan. I flattered myself thinking I deserved to go to that school as well. But the fun went out of looking down on people, while the burden of studying didn't change a bit. My classmates stopped admiring my cleverness after a while, and my teacher started to push me to study more. All of a sudden, the fun had gone out of it. Well, they say school is fun, but it's not for everyone, so... To begin with, I didn't even like to study. I had average reflexes. I was average in a fight. I was an average boy with nothing that really drew attention. So when I found something that I could use to get that attention, I jumped on it. It happened to me. It happened to be studying for me, but if it was riding a unicycle or juggling, I would have done that too. When I realized I didn't enjoy studying anymore, it got very boring. I was just a little boy who wanted to be praised when I did something better than anybody else. I finished all of my summer homework because my parents praised me for it, and I took charge of cleaning duties at school because my teachers praised me for it. So when they stopped praising me for what I did, I began to feel as though my life had no meaning. My parents used to give me an allowance that was proportionate to how good my grades were, so I used to get a substantial amount of money for my age. I don't know if I had a natural interest in violence, or if I was looking for it because of my frustration at that time. I took an interest in BB guns. Oh boy. At first I shot at cardboard boxes. It was fun. Being violent at pieces of cardboard relieved a lot of stress. Nobody blamed me for doing that. But soon I started wanting to do something I should have never have done. On the box that my BB gun came in was a warning label that read, "Do not shoot at people." That was when I thought about doing just that. Why did I do something I shouldn't have? I guess I was just immature. Yeah, because you're a fucking dumbass. That's why. Shouldn't have done something that you're warned for. Holy shit. I wasn't interested in studying anymore, but I forced myself to do so anyway. My parents forced me to go to several cram schools. I was mad at them for that. I should have told them that I didn't want to study anymore, but I didn't have the courage to do that. Well, that's what you get for hesitating. So I used my frustration as an excuse to do something cowardly. I shot at kids who were younger than I was with my BB gun. It gave me such a thrill. It felt so good to do something bad when I was so overcome with studying. Needless to say, I had no personal grudge against the kids I shot. As long as the kids passed through a deserted street, they met the requirements to become my target. I didn't mean to hurt them. I shot at them once or twice from a distance. That was all I wanted to do. But sometimes they didn't react at all because the BBs hit a thicker part of their clothes or something. I didn't like that, so I started to shoot until they noticed they were being hit. It inevitably is escalated into a barrage of gunfire. I study a lot. I'm doing something good. So I deserve to do something bad to balance out the good thing I'm doing. That was the unbelievably selfish excuse I made. I thought I had a right to do things like that because I was suffering myself. I thought people who weren't suffering like I was deserved to be shot at and to get hurt a little bit. I was so selfish, so arrogant, and so immature. I was disgusted with myself. If I could have met myself at that time, I would have given myself a punch in the face so hard that I'd knocked out all my teeth. Well, you just answered that to yourself quite easily. They started to call it a series of attacks on school children. The principal of my school held a morning assembly to inform everyone about the case and to warn them to be careful when playing outside. I was laughing sneakily. The PTA issued a letter of warning and advised to take the safest way to and from school. Parents took turns watching kids when they walked between home and school in groups. The more serious it got, the more it reminded me of the excitement I first felt when my grades started going up. I was absorbed in that game I was playing. I didn't think that I'd get caught someday. I didn't even think to stop doing it either. One day, I found a little girl who was walking down a narrow, dark street all alone. She was a very small girl. I don't know if she was on her way to her friend's house or if she was running an errand. I didn't care which. It was careless of her to go out alone. The school had warned her not to, so it was her fault. Just like always, I made a selfish excuse and attacked her. Some of the shots hit her in the back. She noticed she was attacked by somebody. She turned around. It was a natural reaction. That time I didn't hesitate to rain hell upon her. So when she turned around, I was still shooting at her. Usually when I shot at a kid, she cried in pain and ran away. But this girl was different. She thrashed around in excruciating pain, holding one of her eyes. When I saw her doing that, I realized what had happened right away. The BB had hit her in the eye. Until that moment, I didn't think about what would happen when a pellet that could easily go through a cardboard box hit an eyeball. Anyway, the girl howled in pain, and for the first time, I realized I had done something horrible. She saw me, so I couldn't take her to a hospital. I couldn't do anything about it, so I left her there while she was still screaming in pain. I wondered if she was okay, and I worried that she had lost her eye. I kept thinking about her, and I didn't even feel like eating that day. I went to the bookshelf in our living room, snuck a medical book to my room, and studied the structure of the human eye. It was too late to make a difference, but I studied what kind of injuries would make a person lose their vision. I knew it wouldn't make the sin I committed weigh any less even if I found out that she wouldn't lose her sight. I couldn't sleep that night, and I suffered from a high fever. It wasn't my parents, my teachers, or the police who first punished me for what I did. It was my own body. Before dawn, I woke my parents up and confessed to my sin. They were shocked at first, but it seemed like they understood the situation quickly due to my recent disobedient behavior and my interest in BB guns. My mom cried hysterically. My dad slapped me in the face till it swelled up. Well, you fucking deserved that, but... like, is it safe for me to call Keiichi a retard? Holy shit. Like, that's what you get for doing stupid shit like that. Before the sun came up, I turned myself in to the police, accompanied by my parents. Satoko stared at me with a stunned expression. Well, to be honest, I would feel the same way. I deserved to receive that kind of look. What I did was very wrong, and I needed to accept that. Is that all true? Well, fuck. I guess what Rena said was true. God damn. Yes, it's all true. I'm sorry I didn't tell you until now. What made you want to tell us? What made you want to tell? Goddamn fucking error. Mion asked me. Rika-chan nodded in agreement. To tell you the truth, I don't understand why. Well, I know, but... No, I'm just saying that I don't see any reason why you had to tell us about it. Well, I didn't want to keep secrets from my friends. You're my friends, so I couldn't hide it from you anymore. What are you expecting us to do? I'm not expecting anything. I just... If you're asking for forgiveness, I can't give it to you. You have to ask the kids you attacked if you want that. It won't help any to tell us about it. Well, I agree. I agree with Rika. I think you're really brave to tell us, but I don't understand what you want to do from here on out. I don't want to do anything. I just thought it's not right to keep secrets from my friends. My friends looked annoyed by the sudden confession of my past. I took it as bitter medicine. I got what I deserved. Kei-chan, I have a question. Why can't friends keep secrets from each other? What? I mean, that's what you're saying, but I really don't agree. That's kind of debatable. I don't agree either. Mion and Rika-chan obviously disagreed with my statement. Satoko nodded, following suit. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's wrong to refuse to tell people things you'd rather not. We all have lots of things we don't want to tell anyone else about, like tragedies, mistakes, and other things you don't want to remember. If I'd have to tell someone everything to be true friends with them, I wouldn't want to have them as my friends at all. But, Keiichi, there's a difference between things you don't need to confess and things you have to confess. You have to confess what you did to receive forgiveness. But once you're forgiven, you don't need to keep confessing. Quite. You turned yourself into the police and they scolded you good, did they not? You atoned for your sin and you were forgiven. What more do you have to do? You turned yourself in and you accepted the result. You did what you had to do. It's very important that you keep reminding yourself of your sin, so that you won't make the same mistake again. But you only have to take care of that on your own. It's not something you have to confess to everybody. That's very true. I have many embarrassing stories that I'd rather not tell anyone. Meep, Satoko does have quite a lot of them. I'm not surprised. The so-called prankster. It's not only me. Rika has a heap of them too. Meep, meep, meep. Satoko and Rika-chan fooled around with each other like they always did. Mion looked at them and then looked back at me. Satoko... Wow. Satoko just said something very important. Did you get it? You mean the part where she had... You mean the part where she says she has a dark past that nobody needs to know about? No, the bit after that. She's saying that everybody has something they rather hide. Considering that nobody grows up in a sterilized room, we all learn by trial and error. That's called life, you know? You do both good things and bad things in order to grow up. Your goal is to become a wonderful person by the end. Everything that happens is a very important experience, including both the good and the bad. The same goes with everybody, with Satoko, Rika-chan, and me too. The same applies to everybody in this class. For example, me used to be a very bad girl. Meow meow. Well, I'm not proud of it or anything, but shooting at people with a BB gun is like nothing compared to what I did. I used to throw bricks at people. I can't even count how many times I ended up in a cell at the police station. During the dam conflict, I was a regular there. I'm not kidding. It's all true. Well, riot. But it happened in the past, and she doesn't have to tell you about it, even though she's your friend. Even though she's my friend. I made a lot of embarrassing mistakes and committed some crimes too. But I don't tell you about them because telling you wouldn't help in any way. If you feel better by telling us about your past, well, listen. But there's no rule that says you have to tell us about your past just because we're friends. I don't want to dig up a past that you don't want to talk about. That's what true friends are all about, I think. I agree with you, but we're happy if you we're happy if you feel better now by telling us about your past. We can forget about it if you wanted us to. We'll never change the way we see you because of this. What you did in the city has nothing to do with who you are right now. You're a precious friend to us. I actually don't want to know about your past, to be honest with you. I agree with Rika. The same thing goes the other way around. Even if you did something great in the city, but if you were a nasty person here, I wouldn't care what great things you did back then. In other words, Kei-chan, the sin you committed in the city is something that you should keep secret in your heart. You don't need to dig it back up just to tell us. I mean, you can if you want. And if anybody changed the way they saw you because of that, I'd look down on them. No matter what happened in the past, as long as you're a great person and present, you shouldn't be embarrassed of yourself. Am I wrong? What's the purpose of living if we can never earn redemption? Satoko used to be a big baby who couldn't do anything by herself. She regretted it deeply, and now she's a strong, independent girl. That's why I admire Satoko today. I don't care how weak she used to be. Rika, what about you, Kei-chan? Are you going to change the way you see me because you know because you now know I used to be a very bad girl who was a regular at the police station? You won't, will you? I am who I am. Our friendship won't change, and we'll keep playing and laughing like we always do, right? That's what being friends is all about. What? What? What's going on? Mion is trying to cheer me up with an encouraging smile on her face, but her expression became distorted all of a sudden. Big teardrops fell from my eyes. What? Why am I crying? Let me just say this. I didn't know anything about Satoshi because you all hid it from me. We didn't mean to hide it. You didn't tell me about the incidents that happen every year, right? But that's because we didn't want to, you didn't want to scare me? Just because of that, you let me out? No, we didn't mean to. Mion didn't know what to say. She had tears in her eyes. She thought she did me a favor. She didn't know why it turned out like this. She didn't want to make me scared of the village since I just moved here. What more reason did she need? I asked you before, Mion, if there was a crime at the dam construction site. You told me there was none, but there was a dismemberment lynch murder. You lied. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lie to you. I thought friends didn't hide things from each other, right? So that makes us not friends. Uh, what are friends? What are friends? What were friends to me? They were my true friends. They really cared about me. They were so nice to me and helped me feel at home in this village. I couldn't have been happier. Everything was great, wasn't it? Kei-chan, please don't. Mion seemed like she didn't know what to say. Her eyes looked moist. It was hard to believe she was really acting like this. It wasn't like Mion at all. I could feel her pain. She wasn't pain because she didn't know what I was blaming her for. She looked so sad, but I didn't notice her pain. I thought I was her friend. I didn't understand her feelings. I didn't trust her. I just used the word friend, but I didn't do anything like what friends were supposed to do. That's right. I was such a fool. Mion was Mion. She was my best friend. Why did I doubt her? Why? Keiichi looks down these days. He just moved here from the city. I guess the fatigue must be setting in. He probably caught a cold as a result. I see. Then he needs to eat something nutritious. My grandma is making ohagi today. I'm going to ask her to give me some so we can bring them to Keiichi. Oi, Mion, wash your hands first. Hello, Rena-chan. Would you like to try making one too? Wow, that looks like fun. Yes, I love to try. Here we go. I have a great idea. What is it, Mi-chan? What's that little bottle? What is it? It's not fun to only have sweet ohagi, you know? Let's put hot sauce in one of them. It'll make him... It'll wake him up for sure. Oh, what? Oh, goody, a prank. That's right. That's what happened. They brought ohagi for me to help me get better. They only tried to cheer me up. Why did I get so scared of them? Just because Mion knew I had lunch at Angel Mort. I grew terrified of her. Hey, you don't look good. Maybe you should go lie down. That's right. Maybe we should leave. They just wanted to cheer me up with a joke, but because I looked so serious. See you. Please get better soon. I hope we can hang out in the club together tomorrow. That was a normal way of saying goodbye. I don't want you to be absent from school tomorrow, okay? First of all, have I ever visited any of my classmates who were absent with a cold? No, I haven't. I've never done such a nice thing to anybody, because it's too much of a bother. But they did that for me. I understand visiting a friend in the hospital, but I just caught a cold. But they came to visit me with ohagi so that I could get better soon. I should have been thankful to them and said, I'll get better soon, and I'm sure I can come to school tomorrow. So, I'll see you then. That was what I was supposed to say. But what did I do instead? I locked the door. I closed the door and locked it as if rejecting them. What was I so scared of? What was I so afraid of? Why didn't I say any words of appreciation to my friends who cared about me? I was just so scared of the ohagi they brought for me. What was I thinking? It was impossible that there was a needle in one of them. There wasn't actually a needle at all. It was all in my head, because I had read some manga about someone putting needles or razor blades in people's food. Well, I don't even know what manga you mentioned, so... It scared me so much that I believed it could also happen to me for some reason, and I thought there was a needle in the ohagi. You know, something tells me that this part of the answer arc is reflecting on the past from the first chapter. That it was all just a scary illusion. You are so stupid, Keiichi. Why would your friends put a needle in food they only brought to make you get better? It was crazy to think like that. Even if there was a needle in one of them, I should have thought that it was some kind of mistake, and I should have believed in my friend's innocence. That's what a true friend would do, but what did I do? Pound, splatter, smash. I threw the ohagi that they spent so much effort making on the floor. Why? Why did I do that? I got along so well with them. I moved to Hinamizawa, and I made friends for the first time in my life. They were my best friends. Meeting them was the most wonderful experience of my life. I'd probably never have another one like that for the rest of my days. I knew that, but I got scared, and I doubted them. They noticed that I was acting odd. That's why they called the manager Irie. They thought a sedative might help me relax so I could rest and get better. That's why they carried me up to my room. Mion just wanted to make it fun. She's the kind of person who expresses her goodwill by making a joke out of it. I knew that better than anybody. She knew Irie would roll up my shirt to check my heartbeat with a stethoscope, so she was just trying to draw graffiti on my shirt just like she did to Toмотaki-san as punishment for the game he lost. Yes, that's why Mion took a felt marker out of her pocket. What a prank. A felt marker. She brought a marker from home because she just wanted to do something funny. She tried to cheer me up by making me take a punishment for fun rather than nursing me, because that's just what Mion is like. She went to the trouble of bringing a felt marker to my house, just because she wanted to cheer me up. Rena held me down tightly, and Mion came closer to me to write something on my shirt. Mion whispered the words she was going to write on my shirt. I heard them. I heard them clearly. I heard what she was going to write on my shirt. I hope you get well soon, Mion. I heard them, but why? I should have known she wasn't going to do anything to hurt me. Then why? Why? Why did the marker look like a syringe to me? Why did I think that Mion was going to kill me? It was impossible. It was impossible. Why? Why? Why did I misunderstand that Mion was going to kill me? Ah. The numbness in my head receded, and slowly I felt blood start to run through my entire body again. How long was I squatting down there? For a few minutes, or a lot longer than that. As I looked up at the clock, the hands weren't moving at all, as if they had stopped while I had my eyes closed. Really? The atmosphere in the room wasn't filled with insanity like it was earlier, but it was quiet and gray. Rena wasn't holding me down. Mion wasn't about to give me an injection. Was all of that just some kind of illusion? Well, that's what I was going to answer. There was no sense of presence other than myself in that room. It was an extraordinary experience, the kind I'd never had before. I was there, with Rena and Mion. I doubted my sanity for a moment, but at the same time I felt some kind of relief too. The scary incident was just an illusion after all. Neither Rena nor Mion would have done such a terrible thing to me. Tears started forming in my eyes. My emotions were running high. Why? It wasn't a question of why tears were forming in my eyes. Why? It was a question of my sadness. Why did I feel so sad? I don't know. I just don't know. You don't know? What do you mean you don't know? You do know. I was so stupid. What the hell was I doing? I was so pathetic and helpless. Mion just tried to cheer me up, that was all. I liked her so much. She was my best friend. She was older than me, but she hung out with me like we were the same age. She was the first one who came to talk to me in class. She was so nice to me, but Mion was lying down in an unnatural position near the window. She was covered in dusky red blood from her head to her chest. The red fluid splattered on the wall was Mion's. What had I done? What had I done? I would never forgive myself. I truly did think of you all as my friends. Why? Why did all this happen? There was nothing fun in my life in my old school. When I talked to anyone, it was only ever about my chances of passing the entrance exam of the schools we wanted to go to. My life was shaded in gray. Friends to me were rivals and enemies to vie with for school recommendation and test scores. My friends were here, taught me just how unnatural that was. This whole month was a blast. We raised the roof over lunch, our club activities, and the festival. A warm liquid flowed out from my eyes. To my surprise, it was my tears. I didn't have any obligation to cry for them. but I couldn't stop it. Even though they attempted to kill me, even though they almost killed me, I couldn't forget the memories we made during the past month. Or were those fun days fake? Was it an act that they kept playing perfectly to set me up until today? Was it only me who believed that they were my friends? It couldn't be. Rena and Mion, they were my friends for real. Those happy days couldn't have been just a performance. Rena and Mion must have been forced by somebody to kill me, or that an extraordinary existence called Yashiro-sama possessed them and took over their consciousnesses. No matter what it was, both Rena and Mion were my best friends. I was stupid. I was such a fool. Such a fool. Such a fool. Such a fool. I wasn't making any sense at all. I killed my best friends. They were my best friends. Then why didn't I trust them? Why didn't I listen to them? I beat them to death. Who did I think I was? I made it sound like I didn't do anything wrong. I felt like everybody went crazy except me. I was such a fool. It was the other way around. Of course it was. I was the only one who went crazy. Kei-chan? I did something terrible. I'll never forgive myself. Mion was still alive. I have a memory of beating her to death because I couldn't trust her. But that's a memory from a non-existent different world. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I was told that they were in a different timeline. So... I don't even remember. It's been so long since I was on a hiatus with the franchise. Was it different world or different franchise? I don't know. But even though it happened in a different world, I killed Mion, and I didn't realize how deep that sin was. I even thought until now that Mion was at fault for being killed. What is wrong with Keiichi-san? I don't know. Kei-chan, please calm down. I'm not dead. You didn't beat me to death. I mean, I never let that happen. Okay? Quite. There's no one in our club whom you could beat to death, Keiichi-san. No, no. Mion and Satoko looked confused, having no idea why I was crying. But I couldn't help myself. I learned just now that I could earn redemption by confessing my sin. But I could never earn redemption for this, not from Mion. No matter how much I cried in this world, nobody could give me forgiveness. And so I could never earn redemption for this sin. Right then, Chie-sensei came in and noticed me crying. You wouldn't see a teenage boy crying like that very often. Chie-sensei asked me what was going on, but at that moment I couldn't hear anything. Mion and Satoko looked confused. They didn't know how to explain the situation. Rika-chan approached me in the midst of my sobs. You remember, don't you, Keiichi? You remember how you killed Rena and me? Yes, I killed them. I killed them, but I didn't accept my sin. I pretended I was the victim. I cursed and blamed my friends until the moment I died. There was blood everywhere, and in the end I just died alone, without any regrets. I clawed at my itchy throat in a phone booth. I didn't notice my sin, and I died alone. Keiichi, did you notice your sin just now? Yes, I did. It took me so long, but I just noticed it. I remember what I did, not here, but in a different world that looks just like this one. I killed my friends because I couldn't trust them. They were just trying to help me, but I didn't listen to them. I don't know why I did it. Okay, well, I'm an hour in, so I'm just gonna save it here and end this. Normally I was tempted to split the part, but I'll just upload it as a hour video. So next part, I will be continue more of this. But yes, the whole hour was just Keiichi doing some fucked up things within the city, and then Namizawa, all that such. So, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll continue more of this. See you then.